Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is... I'm going to go with Wednesday. Today is, let's just say it's Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. And we got a box here from Under Armour. I've had it for a couple of days now. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we already unboxed the Under Armour Super Shoe. So I don't know what this is. I vaguely remember them asking me if I wanted to review something else. Maybe I'm imagining that. I don't know. We'll see what it is together. But before we do that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there. Today, the weather was a little bit windy. It was actually quite windy, but brisk, which was very, very nice because it's been a little bit on the muggy side lately. So hopefully you're getting a little bit of that coolness too, because that does make for a much nicer run. I really enjoyed my run out there today. I feel like I'm starting to get some pep back in my step after the last month of racing. So that's a good thing. Hopefully you're having a good one too. And for everyone watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 running a live stream to listen to while you're trying to figure out what the weather is going to be like for your long run this weekend. I think the weather is going to be pretty good here in the Crystal Lake, Chicagoland area. So, yeah. But, you got to keep checking it over and over again. Got to make sure it doesn't change. You got to figure out what the wind situation is going to be. So, it could take some time to figure it out. You know what I just realized this morning? It was this morning when I realized it. We're at like 16 hours of sunshine a day right now. That's pretty amazing. I feel like I spend more time lamenting how little daylight there is than I do celebrating how much daylight there is. So I'm going to try to celebrate how much daylight there is. Daniel Burton said, I ran 2 miles and it's beautiful here in Colorado. Nice. Elisa says, hi, Co-Fam. Hope everyone is well. Everything is hot and I am frying in Boston. So I'm guessing it's not so brisk over there. And Eric is at the dentist. So, hey, well, for the live stream, be well. All right. Well, hopefully the dentist appointment went well. Martha had snow yesterday, but she says it's melted in bright sun, but it's still chilly. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's the thing I would not be able to deal with. There are many things that I would not be able to deal with in Colorado. The altitude is one of those things. I don't think I would ever. I think I'm one of those non-responders. I think I would never adjust to altitude, frankly. I just don't think it would happen. I bet you there's a correlation with people that don't do well with altitude and people that have either severe motion sickness and or vertigo. I bet you those things are correlated. I'm guessing it has to do with the blood pressure, capillary pressure, something going on in your head maybe, in your lungs. I don't know. That's my random speculation. But I don't think I would deal with it. The other thing is, it's just so cold sometimes. Look, you guys are getting snow and stuff. I don't know. I was just thinking about I was thinking about it this morning on my run. I feel like when I was in Seattle, it felt like everything looked a lot like Minnesota to me. And everything kind of felt like Minnesota. All the cafes and restaurants had like those round river rock stone fireplaces and stuff. And there's always a trout on the wall or something like that, or a salmon, probably in the Pacific Northwest. I can't tell the difference. And there's lots of Subarus. I just feel like Minnesota is like it's a Midwestern state, but it's not a Midwestern state sometimes. And I'm like, I think I could live there. My wife and I both have friends in Minnesota. It's just so cold for so long. That's the only problem. Not that it's that warm here in Crystal Lake. Cosmic Pineapple Michael says, I saw a runner today in 90-degree Boston heat wearing a long-sleeve cotton Nirvana shirt and said some prayers for him. What do you think of the deal with that? Daniel Burton says, what's the best state for running? Oh, that's a good question. That could get heated. What's the best state for running? Colorado's probably up there. I feel like Utah is probably going to be underrated. New Mexico is probably also going to be underrated. California, probably California. I say probably California because it's such a big state, so you could kind of cherry pick. You know what I mean? I personally love the San Diego area. I just feel like it's a paradise in the United States in terms of weather. I don't understand how people can live there and then move away. You know, it's just so nice. I do miss the fact that my wife used to have a yearly conference in San Diego. It was always the weekend after Comic-Con. And we used to all go. Before we had kids, I would go. And then after we had kids, we'd bring the kids, and it was super fun. I love that part of the country. I don't know. That'd be it. But there's many places that are great for running. You know what I mean? Matthias Ventus says the air quality in Utah, though. Is the air quality not bad there? Do they get forest fires? Is that what it's from? St. Pete Runner says, I moved away from San Diego to Florida. Did what's best for family. Do I miss the running weather, though? Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I mean, if you got to move for family, you got to move for your job, you got to move for reasons. It makes sense. But I just feel like it'd be hard. It'd be really hard to get away, you know? My hair is doing weird things today. Okay. Daniel Estrella says, just saw the Believe in the Run's Road to Records video. You got a pretty good jump shot, Go. That's pretty funny. I used to be super into basketball in high school, like every other Asian American kid growing up in the 90s. Yeah, I don't really play that much anymore. I only play now because my daughter plays, and so like I feel like she's not much of a self-motivator when it comes to like learning. She always is up for it, but I wouldn't be able to like drop her off at the Y and be like, go shoot around for an hour. She'd be like, you're not gonna come with me, you know? Patrick Smith says they had inversion in Utah in the winters when I lived there. All the air pollution gets trapped in the valley. Okay, that makes sense. That's a shame, because I feel like Salt Lake City. You know, I mean, like there are, I guess, externalities to living in Utah and Salt Lake City, but I feel like, to me, it's kind of like an American Chamonix, if you think about it. What's the altitude? Like 3,500 feet, mountains nearby, lots of beautiful outdoor areas to enjoy. But you still have like a nice little city there. And maybe that's a bit of a stretch to compare those two. But mainly they have the same altitude. And I like 3,500 feet. That's about as much altitude as I like. You know? It's a shame that there's that inversion. Is that what that's called? Ernest Capellion says, Heiko, have you watched Clayton Young's YouTube training series? The quality is superb. I haven't had a chance to check those out. I've seen that he's got 2 episodes out now. I might wait till I can binge them, or maybe I need to just start watching them right now. I've been having a hard time with YouTube lately. I just feel like I've not been enjoying what I'm watching. I keep finding myself saying like, all right, let's put on some YouTube videos, put them on in the background while I'm editing videos or while I'm filming some B-roll. And there's like, not that I'm like super into, you know, even when I see stuff like that I should be very interesting to me. I just don't want to click it. I don't know what it is. I just need a break from watching YouTube. I'm enjoying making YouTube videos, but I just haven't been enjoying watching YouTube videos. Even my usual favorites, I've just been like, maybe I'll save that for later. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's summertime. I don't know how to explain it. All right, Adam has a shoe question. All right, long run daily trainer that's a bit more than the Rebel, but less than something like the SC Trainer. DV8 Nitro, 1080, Nova Blast, Triumph, Cumulus. I would say the 1080 probably be the way I would go. The DV8 Nitro 2 would also be a really fun one. Yeah, I would. So the 1080 is going to be more like the Rebel, and the Deviate Nitro is going to be more like the SC Trainer. If we're putting those shoes on two ends of a spectrum, Nova Blast is going to be pretty similar in that spectrum, very close to the 1080. The Triumph is going to be just very different, and the Cumulus and the Cumulus is basically like a ghost. I think that the Cumulus is like, I feel like the brief for the Cumulus is make it feel like a Brooks Ghost. So that's kind of where I would put that one. All right, Jennifer Triangle says that the Clayton Young series has 3 episodes out already, and she says that they seem to be cranking them out. It sounded like the next episode, number 4, would be out soon too. I think that's good. I'm glad that like it seems like he's had the patience to bank some of them and have them come out like rapid fire. Built some momentum there. It's good. You know what's hard though? I have such a hard time understanding like. I feel like like if I don't understand, who understands? Not that I'm like the biggest expert, but I'm just saying like I don't always know what people who like running want to watch on YouTube. I know they want to watch shoe reviews. Other than that, I'm always not sure. Because like Rory Linkletter's videos are really good, and he's been making them consistently for a while now. He does not have the number of subscribers that matches like the level of the videos. And it doesn't seem to be like, oh, people didn't know they were there and now they're popping, and it'll pop soon. I just don't think so. Even Noah Lyles, it took him a long time to get to 100,000 relative to his fame and his follower counts in other social media platforms. And then I think it's interesting that like once he hit 100,000 and got the silver play button, he's like, format change, we're switching it up now. Which I feel like was a pretty crappy thing to do to his audience. But, I guess he's got Netflix following him around now. So I suppose that's the move. Cosmo Pineapple Michael says, I must need a YouTube off season. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm trying not to hum right now. But remember, I've told you why I do the hum. The hum is so that you know that like it's not just dead space or something didn't mess up on if you're listening to this audio-wise. So maybe I need to keep humming. Space Enfield says, my twin daughters are finally old enough for a running stroller. I don't even have good brands or models. I never had to do a double wide, but I'd like baby joggers were always really good to me. Those are always my favorite. I feel like those aren't the most popular. What's the one that's B.O.B.? Those always looked super rugged. They looked like they were more like hiking and trekking stroll. You know what I mean? Like they look like camping gear. The baby joggers look more like you were going to jog in them. We had the X3. We still have the X3. I really like it. It's a good one. My kids never liked the jogging stroller though. Ernest Cabanon says he thinks that Clayton Young's videos were produced by ASICS. I don't think so. Because I thought I saw that there was, he's not making them. It's not like Clayton Young is sitting at home in front of Final Cut and editing them himself. But he tags his videographer and editor. My guess is that he has hired someone, or maybe ASICS has hired someone. But I don't think it's like ASICS is doing it. A lot of times ASICS does stuff. Well, yeah, ASICS does stuff with P. Alvarez a lot. All the brands do a lot of stuff with P. Alvarez, but P. Alvarez does more like photos. He does some stuff for like their ads, but he does also a lot of just like shorter reels, like pre-race and during race stuff. But he doesn't make long form YouTube videos that I know of. But I don't think that, I mean, I don't know who's funding it. I get the sense that Clayton Young is funding it. Oh, Greg's here. Says, talk to the 8th grader from Arlington Heights who won the Lublon 5K and is a fan of yours. And Greg will probably, I know where Cole lives. LOL. You do know where I live. He's been over my house. But that's cool. That's cool. 8th grader won. Nice. Nice. Daniel Amos says, what are your thoughts on the supposed tier systems like people will be going to with their flagship models? I have no idea. I am not. That's the first time I've heard about that. Elisa says, Coast videos are highly entertaining for me. I think they tell a story and are relatable versus some of the pros like Rory I don't watch because I am a non-elite. That's interesting. But here's the thing. I can understand that, right? That makes a lot of sense to me. But then I also think about how many people are out there, and I know there are a lot. They identify themselves to me all the time. That are like, why would I watch this guy? He's just like, he runs my dad's speed, because for a lot of them, I'm their dad's age. And so I feel like those people, are they not watching? Are young kids not? Are they all on TikTok? Like, where are they going for their running content? Like the people that are watching not Nico Young, but his 2 younger brothers. I'm drawing a blank on their names right now, but they're at Stanford. They actually have a pretty good YouTube channel. Again, a little bit under subscribed, if it seems. The production quality is I think they're actually editing it themselves. But the content is really good. And it's interesting because you're getting a backstage look at running as a D1 athlete at Stanford, which I feel like that should be raking in views like crazy. And it's doing well, but I'm surprised it's not doing better. But where are the people that are watching that? Why aren't they watching Rory? Because those are the people that I feel like would be like, I'm only going to watch him because he's fast. Or like the people that watch Scullion, why aren't they watching Rory too? I'm sure a lot of the people that watch Rory also watch Scullion, but not, Scullion's got like a couple 100,000 subscribers now, something like that. Right? I don't know. Sleep Singer wants to know, hey, Co, you got any cicadas out there? We do, just not in our neighborhood. And I'm wondering if how long did the cicada stay buried for? I'm wondering if the reason why we're not getting them is because this is a new subdivision. Most of the houses here are less than 5 years old. So all the dirt's been shuffled. You know what I mean? But I was talking to my younger daughter about it, and she was sitting on this story. She went to a Girl Scout event on Saturday, and she was sitting on this story until today. I had to tease it out of her because we were talking about cicadas. The Girl Scouts went to the Nature Center at Veterans Acre Park, where I do all my trail running. Is also where the local high school has their cross country meets, and where that trail 10-mile race that I did was. So anyway, at the Nature Center there, and they apparently have this thing called a snake board, which is a board that just sits on the ground, and it's conducive for snakes to have a hideout underneath. But there weren't any snakes underneath it that day. But as they lifted up the board, a cicada was coming up out of the ground. And I was like, for real? The moment you, right at that second, she's like, yeah. And I was like, that's incredible. So they're in the area. They're not far from here. They're just not in my neighborhood. And then I did go for a run in a different park in the area. And I thought I heard them because I had the Bose open ear things that we unboxed yesterday. I had those earbuds in. And I thought it may, because it was noisy. Noisier than I'm used to, which makes sense because it's open ear earbuds. And I thought I was hearing them, but it was just wind. It was really windy today. So I haven't really seen them. But they're in the area, closer to Chicago, a lot of the Cook County Forest District parks, the Cook County parks, we're in McHenry County, kind of an adjacent county. a collar county. I think in a lot of parks they have them, but I just personally haven't seen any. Stevie76 says, I once won a double stroller 5K unofficially. That's an interesting sentence. I feel like we need more context on that. I'm going to scroll down and catch up with you guys. And Rally Captain Standing says, yeah, I can't not hear them. Oh, okay. And you're a Cook County resident? Yeah, but they're not in this neighborhood. A lot of people in the neighborhood have put little nets around their trees and stuff, but I don't. I've been examining my trees, and when I walk my daughter to the bus stop, there's like, they planted trees along the road. So they're all like, a handful of years old. They're taller than me. They're maybe 6 or 7 feet. Maybe 7 or 8 feet tall. Maybe they're more like 10 feet tall. I'm a bad judge of height. I've been examining them to see if they're getting chewed up or anything, or if there's any cicadas hanging out on them. Nothing. I haven't seen any in my neighborhood. Adam says, have you seen the move to use insects as food? Inexpensive protein content. Literally 2 billion people eat insects. I have heard about that. I wish they could do it. I wouldn't feel bad if they were using bugs to make like veggie burgers and stuff. Would it still be considered a veggie burger if you're using bugs in it? As long as I couldn't taste it. As long as it doesn't feel like I'm crunching on like exoskeleton, I'd probably be cool with it if it was in there. I just don't want to feel like I'm eating bugs. Then I wouldn't have a problem with eating bugs. But it's also like kind of the same thing. I've been wondering about this for a long time. I think we've talked about this too. There are 2 things that are problems that I'm like, I don't understand how that these are problems. One is the Asian carp. I understand that it's a fish that's very difficult to fillet, and so it takes a lot of effort to get any meat off of those bones. But I'm like, if you can take like a chicken carcass and run it through a centrifuge and make chicken nuggets out of it, surely there's some sort of way to figure out a way to easily get the meat off of Asian carp. And the Asian carp problem should just be a food blessing. I don't understand that. And then I remember, I don't know what happened anymore, but it used to be in the news all the time. It was like these feral pigs were a problem in Florida. Anyone listening from Florida, can you help me out? Was it warthogs or something like that? There was like a feral pig problem. Apparently they're really mean and aggressive, territorial, and like it'd be like when there has to be like a deer call in the Midwest when there's just too many. People would be like deputized to go out and hunt these feral hogs or something like that. Again, I don't understand how that's a problem, especially not in a region of the country that enjoys barbecue. You know what I mean? Yeah. JC says feral pigs are a problem in Texas. I mean, I could maybe, because in Texas you guys are more of a beef barbecue state, than you are a pork barbecue. So maybe you just don't know what to do with all that pig. But I just feel like extra pigs shouldn't be a problem in a barbecue state. Yeah. Alex Herman says, it sounds like something that Robbie would be into. We're talking about the bug burgers. Yeah. All right, we got Pegasus is in here. Speaking of Pegasus is in here. It says, hey, Yoko. What's going on, Pegasus? You've been running a lot. Manna Run says, long time no see, everyone. How's things? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Elisa says it's time for the box. I box, you box, we box, we all box. All right, let's go for it. It's a big package, too. I don't know why it's so big. I still think it's just one shoes. Oh, there's 2 in here, guys. Now I'm really concerned that it might be an embargo situation. But I feel like does Under Armour really have embargoes at this point? I don't know. I've been responding to. Oh, let me do a quick search online to see if these are anywhere else. And that's how I have been figuring out. I think I could. Oh, okay. It looks like they're already online. I don't know anything about these shoes, but this could be me. I'm looking online at the old model. I don't know. Okay. We're gonna open these because I've been emailing people, and when people email me like, "Hey, we'd love to send you a pair of the such and such," which I appreciate. People ask, even if they have my address. I don't know if Under Armour has my address. How did I get those other shoes? So even when people have my address, they still ask if I'm interested, which I appreciate because there's not always do I want a shoe. Like new, for example, New Balance sent me the Bongos, and it's a stability shoe, and I feel bad because now it's still sitting over there. I have them, but I'm not going to run in a stability shoe. I might have said it's okay to send it because I thought maybe I'd try it, compare it against like the Forever or something. So that's maybe not a good example. Anyway, all right, let's get to the shoes. Let's see if the focus is going to work today. Anyway, I asked him to tell me if it's under embargo, and I don't remember hearing anything. So Under Armour Infinite Pro is the first one. And the Under Armour Infinite Elite is the next one. Let's start with the Pro. Oh my goodness. So excited. I'm getting my scale ready and everything. All right. Oh boy. Oh, this has a really chunky clip on the back. This is the Under Armour Infinite Pro. It's got a very puffy tongue, very tall stack height. The Charmin isn't so squishy, but there's this black soft layer is nice. Top layer is soft. So that'll be interesting. Well, you could even see this little hole back here is the softer top layer. So dual layer foam system. I literally know nothing about this shoe. I suppose I should have looked it up first. But I'm learning about the shoes as you guys are. You know what I mean? It's a cold unboxing. Let's get the right shoe out. I think I'm going to run in the Under Armour, the Velocity Elite 2s. I got to work out tomorrow, so I think I'm going to run in those tomorrow, coincidentally. And here we go. This feels like a big shoe. Infinite Pro Hover. Yeah, there's just a lot of padding here. I'm worried about it smells like a balloon. Yeah, General Triangle says first we unbox, then we scale, then we sheet. I like that a lot. But yeah, it's not super breathable. I thought it'd be more breathable because there are all these holes on the side, but it's not a dual layer mesh either. But there is like a really big gusset on the shoe, so it's kind of like a dual layer mesh through a lot of the forefoot. And yeah, it's dual layer. So it's kind of got like a little sock gusset thing going on in the front. So it's not super breathable. And there's a decent amount of padding around the sides, not too much. Feels like it's going to feel low cut and wide. So far it's giving me a lot of kind of Vomero-y vibes. I'm a little bit worried because there's a lot of this chunky bottom layer of foam. Although maybe these are just sidewalls. I'm not sure. And a very thick clip. Maybe it's going to be like the Forever Run. All right, let's take a look at the other one. Ooh. This looks like a beaded foam. This is the Elite. And it's got like a knit upper. Kind of giving some Skechers vibes here. Oh, feel that? It's like, you know when you touch a styrofoam cooler? They're kind of... It's definitely like styrofoam. Is this styrofoam? There's no dual layers on this one. This looks like it's one layer. A little bit more rubber on it. A little bit more padding. Same tongue, I think. This one kind of smells like maybe a little bit like a basketball. Much more breathable. Also another big heel clip. But these are big chunky shoes. They're very wide. Really wide shoes. This is 2024 is the year of the wide shoe. I don't really like it, but that's where we are. But yeah, hopefully this is going to be like the Triumph. Someone was asking earlier if I'm going to try the Triumph 22. I think so. There's still a lot of year left. I don't have it yet. But we'll see if I think Saucony now knows how to get. They've been sending the shoes. They sent me the Endorphin Pro 4. Yeah, they sent me a pair of the Endorphin Pro 4. I gave them to Andrew so he could test them. But yeah. It's so squeaky. It's so squeaky. But it's very light. This one is a chunk. It feels heavy. There's just something about these that kind of look like kids' shoes. There's something about them that feels... It's very wide. It's very wide. There's like no shape to it. It's like a big rectangle. I don't know. Maybe on foot they'll look great. We'll see. Let's get them weighed. Let's see where we're at on this. I gotta get. Oh my goodness. I gotta get my sheet ready. Shoe weights. Let's get that going. And let's share it. I gotta share it with you guys. It's so many button presses. There's got to be a better way to do this. I must be doing it wrong. Okay, at this stage. There we go. All right. At least it says spreadsheet time. All right, it is spreadsheet time. All right, what do we got here? We got Under Armour. Under Armour. Oh boy, what are the names of these? Infinite Pro. Infinite Elite. Okay, we got 0 miles in each one of these. Right shoe. Size 9. And road. Let's double check the sizes. Size 9. Size 9. I can't get over the sound of this thing. It's making my hands feel not like there's like sticky. Not sticky. That's not the right word. I don't know. Just makes my hand feel weird. Okay. Let's get the Pro on here first. Why is this not turning on? There we go. Let's get this guy zeroed. We're in ounces. I think, yeah, Kevin Cito thinks 10.5 ounces. Run Tommy thinks 10.8. I think you guys are right. Oh my goodness. That was a great guess. Great guess. 10.8 ounces. Exactly. Is there a regular Infinite? Is it Infinite Pro, and then, or maybe there's an Infinite Speed? I'm not sure. Let's get this back on the scale. $308 grams. Okay. Weighing it a second time. 308 grams on the dot. 10.8. Okay. Now for the Elite. Let's get the Elite. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. You guys are not going to believe this. Oh, my goodness. Any guesses on this one? Whoa. $11.3 ounces. This one's heavier. I thought it was so much lighter. I bet you it's the knit. There's also more padding in this one too. And for grams, we're getting well over 300. Oh, big boy, 320 grams. Okay, let's see where these fall in the spreadsheets. All right, we got 10.8. Oh man, it's heavier than the Dream Chaser. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's interesting. 308 grams was 10.9 ounces with the Enduro, the U Enduro Max Low. That's a hiking shoe. Okay, 11.3 ounces makes this the heaviest running shoe we've tested at taking the crown from the Skyward X. Oh boy, I told you guys this was going to be an awesome spreadsheet. That's interesting. It's heavier than the Skyward X. Oh my goodness. There's not a lot that's heavier than this shoe. Not a lot that's heavier. Oh my goodness. Even that 10.8 is still pretty heavy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like it. Once you get to 10 ounces, trail shoes, 10 ounces I'm okay with. But for road shoes, 10 ounces starts to get heavy. Here's the thing. I've been running in the Skyward X past few days, and you know what? For that shoe, the 11.1 ounces isn't crazy. It's doable. But for this Infinite Elite, this foam better be amazing. Especially if I have to hear this every time I put them on. I feel like this is also a sound you could use. Do you guys get this too? I get this weird thing on Instagram. It sent me down a rabbit hole where it seems to think I like behind the scenes of a Foley soundstage. But this sounds to me like, so I'm getting a lot of like how they make sound effects. But it sounds to me like it could be like a tree falling in the woods if you slowed it down a little bit. We just need a crash sound at the end. Calvin thinks it sounds like a ship creek. That's the other thing I thought. Maybe like a windy day in the sails. It's tipping the masts a little bit. That's what I was thinking as well. General Triangle says, train in heavy shoes to make race shoes feel even lighter. I don't know. Maybe there's something to that. I was just watching Ali Ostrander. Her channel is one that if I see a video, even then, every video, I'm like, I'll say that for later. But I was watching her one that she ran Magnolia Road with David Roach, which I didn't know that was her coach. He was having her warm up in ankle weights. So that way her legs felt better when she started running. Which I was like, that doesn't seem real. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess apparently a lot of people are doing it. Martha says SJD could wear those instead of strapping on ankle weights. Is he doing the ankle weights too? Is that like a new thing? Is that going to be the new thing now that everyone's doing? Ankle weights? I just saw Elijah Orr. I met him I think I met him 2 Bostons ago. He's out of Southern California somewhere. I forget. Los Angeles area, I think. And he's been training for ultras. He just made a video where he was doing like the track workout in a weighted vest. Is that like the new thing now? Can't people just run commute? You know, that's what I did a long time ago. Remember? I used to run commute all the time, and that was most of my running. I felt like it did wear my shoes out a little bit faster. I don't know. C-Tom fan says, I wonder what the shoes sound like when you run. I'll definitely be recording the sound when I'm running in those Infinite Elite. I'm probably going to run in the Infinite Elite first, just because that's a more interesting shoe to me. It's a beaded foam. Looks like a beaded TPU. It feels really lightweight. I mean, yeah, I think it's a beaded TPU. So, like, is this going to be like a Triumph Max? We were supposed to get the Triumph Plus, but Saucony pulled that shoe back. I don't know what happened if we're ever going to get that or not. But maybe this is the Triumph Plus we never got. I don't know. But I will record the sounds to see how loud it is. Luis says, talking about SJD, you're now winning the subs count, Co. That's a surprise. You know what? This is the first time ever that if that's true, that I've had more subs than Seth. I've known him since he's had like 700 subscribers. He's always been at least double up on me. I had like 300 subscribers at the time. Oh, you know what? There might have been a time. Oh, there was a time where I switched to running content like a handful of months before him. And that was when, to get into the YouTube partner program, you had to have like 1,000 subs. And I was at 1,000 subs before him, I think. And then he shot right past me. And then since then, it's been like many X more than me. I don't really keep count of the subs anymore, which has been very freeing. Because I feel like once you get to a certain point, everyone's just like, this is an established channel. And then, when I met Ethan, he was like, you know what? I think after this weekend, you're going to pass me in subs count. I'm like, no, that's not possible. How is that possible? That doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. It's weird. The crazy thing is, when I log into my YouTube studio, it gives you a dashboard of like your last rolling 28 days. The change in subscribers has basically been the same every single month. It doesn't really change. And I'm like, shouldn't I have more per month then if I'm growing like that? But it's just been a steady march, I guess. But that's crazy. And Matthias Venta says, like, or is training for the Murph. Is that why? Do you have to wear a weighted vest for the Murph? Is that what's going on? And Daniel Burton says, careful with the ankle weights. You can get injured real easily. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a great idea to me. But I don't know. Ali Ostrander is having a great year. So something's working. But I think the way that David Roche had her do it was only for the warm up, not even just a couple of like strides, not even just like tooling around a little bit before the run started. And Steve Blackadar says, before you had a coach, how did you choose a marathon training plan? I tried a bunch of different ones to kind of figure out what I like and don't like. And then I read a bunch of different books, and I eventually decided that I like Jack Daniels. And he had a training program that I would kind of use. And then I just started like tinkering with it on my own. And then I started doing a lot of cherry picking, and I was repeating a lot of the same stuff, which I don't think is bad in a training plan. I feel like most training plans are too complex. But, variety is one thing, but unnecessary complexity is another. I feel like a lot of training plans have that. But then again, I got a coach because I'm like, I think I'm not complex enough. I think I need more stimuli. But I think the best way to do it is to find one that's, is reasonably well regarded, do it, and then figure out what you don't do and don't like. You could do that with or without the assistance of a coach. So that's kind of how I got to it. I've tried some Fitzinger's before, Fitzinger's Advanced Marathoning. Those were just way too hard. Way too hard. So I didn't like that one. Hal Higdon's, I felt like, Hal Higdon like recommended, I felt like too many rest days and a lot of emphasis on cross training, which I was like, I know I'm not going to do the cross training. I don't want to feel bad about not doing the cross training. So please don't write this in the program. That's going to have felt about Hal Higdon. He makes a lot of good programs. And I feel like that's usually where I recommend people to start. Although I haven't like looked at his training plans in a long time. So maybe my opinion would be different. There's also My Coach, for example. They make just regular training plans too that you can get at Higher Running. So that's always an option too. I remember I bought some from my running buddy back when Sage and Sandy had that fire. I think I bought like one of every training plan that they have. And I gave the BQ one to my running buddy to look at. And it wasn't that different from like kind of what I like. There's some things that I don't like in there that I am doing now in my training that are good, but just like a little, so not like in, at the finite detail level, it's different. But in philosophy, they're very similar. Brian Albrecht says he runs with a rated vest. I put it on during COVID and haven't taken it off. Oh, that's like a Bane mask or whatever. It sounds so ominous that way. Oh, Brian Albrecht says that's a joke about being a big runner. Oh, oh, that's so funny. All right. Zachary says, anyone in the chat have any hydration vest recommendations? I've been holding out because I try to run with as little as possible, but it's gotten too hot. Yeah, I mean, if that's your feeling on it, have you just tried running with a handheld? There are hard-sided ones, and there are also like Hydro Flask makes a bunch that have like the hand strap, and they're soft bottles. I prefer those, although they tend not to be insulated. Although when you're running with it, do you want it to be insulated? But that might be as much as you need. If you need more than that, then, like there's a lot of really good ones. I've run with a variety of different Camelbacks throughout the years. I tend to regard those very highly. I like Solomon ones as well. I haven't met a Solomon pack that I haven't liked. Ultimate Direction always seems to fit me a little bit funny. I think that I can't dial in the fit quite right on those. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a fit preference or something, but they do make a lot of good packs. What are the other big brands that are out there? I don't know. Kevin says, do you think the shoe companies make the shoe and then realize at the end it was heavy and go, it'll be fine? That's a good question. I don't know why heavy shoes exist. Maybe it's like a side effect of like, here are the materials that we want to use for price considerations or for performance considerations. Like if they wanted something really cushioned, or maybe they wanted a really dense foam, hoping it would resonate with like people that have a heavier footstep or who are heavier. So it could be any of those things. I could easily see it being like, all right, well, we want to make sure it's really durable. So let's add 3 millimeters of rubber on the outsole. Let's make sure that it's very comfortable for both running and walking with lots of stability in the heel without it feeling like a stability shoe. So we need to have a plastic clip. We need to have a lot of cushion and puffiness so that way it fits a wide variety of heel shapes. I don't want to have any lace tension on the top of the foot. So let's make sure it's very padded tongue, make it gusseted, dual layer mesh, but let's keep it breathable. It has to be strong. You add up all those things, and I feel like you can have a heavy shoe really fast. Would be my guess. And then they're like, it's heavy. And they're like, but did the testers like it? And I'm like, oh yeah, they did. Then I feel like, it'll be fine. That's what I think happens. Or it's like, all right, this shoe has to come in at this price point and we need to make this much profit on it. So, here are what our costs are. Here's what we need to multiply that by to recoup our other like shipping, marketing, transportation, other costs, And so then it needs to make this much margin. And all right, how do we get there? Well, if we sub out this material for another material that costs this much less per shoe, then I think that's the other way. It's a price point thing, or this is what it had to weigh for us to get it to where we needed it to be. And we maybe could have made it all these things but light, but it would have cost twice as much. So ultimately, I think cost is part of the reason why shoes are heavy. But those are my theories. Speaking of Hal Higdon, Pegasus did Hal Higdon's plan for CIM. Nice. And Adam says, it's fine to start with a plan. It's rarely a good idea to stick with it rigidly. That's a very good advice. I have a hard time, though, when I'm new at something, because I'm like, it feels very reasonable to say, oh, you know what? I'm really busy. Life is getting in the way. It's not a great time to have this long run on a Saturday. Let's move it to Sunday or move it to Friday. I feel like when I'm new to something, I feel like, no, man, don't mess around. Be disciplined and just do it the way it's written first. And then once you've done it, then you can tinker. That's kind of where my mind is a lot of times. So I have a very hard time with applying that philosophy, Adam. Pegasus says, how did you choose a coach? For me, it was, I knew that Sage and Sandy had a pretty similar training philosophy that I do. So that's the biggest thing is so there's some people, there used to be this Runner's World book called Run Less to Run Faster, something like that. And it was about doing these 60-mile weeks. That's nonsense. You can run your best on 30 miles a week if you're doing a lot of speed work, you're doing a lot of all these work. I mean, every run is a workout kind of thing. There used to be this other philosophy. Not every run is a workout, but kind of. And so those are some different philosophies and takes on it. There are some people are super heavy into cross training, which is something that I'd like to explore, but not anytime soon. And so I like to do mostly running on the higher end of the mileage relative to my abilities and speed. Adopting more of a Lydiard or Jack Daniels style approach. And I feel like that's kind of relatively in the area of where my coaches are. And so I feel like that helps. If you don't know that, then what's, I think, a good thing about the way social media is with coaches. I mean, basically now, if you're a running coach, especially if you have a lot of clients online, you have to be a running content creator. But that also gives you a chance to kind of figure out a little bit about their philosophies. And if the things that they're saying resonate with you, like when they talk about it bothers me when people do this, and they're talking about different pitfalls that runners might fall in, kind of like Adam was just saying, it's a good idea to start with a plan, bad idea to stick with it rigidly. If they're saying things like that make sense to you or that resonate with you, then that's a good sign that you might like training with them. If they're saying a lot of stuff that seems way too intense, or this seems too taking it too seriously, doesn't seem fun that way, then maybe it's not a good coach for you. But it's hard to kind of separate that out from, do I like this person as a coach, or do I like just this person as a personality? That can be hard to figure out sometimes. All right, Richard Smart says, I think it's probably the last one for today. Says, to monitor heart rate, wrist, arm, or chest band. I think it depends on how accurate do you want it. The most accurate will be from the chest, but some people don't like running with the chest band. I don't like running with it in the winter because for me to do it in the winter, I need to apply conductive gel, and that's cold. And so I don't like it. And also for me, the wrist doesn't always work. I always switch my watch bands out to Velcro because I could get a tighter fit. But I think it's because of both my wrist shape and maybe my skin tone a little bit. The silicone bands don't give me an accurate heart rate reading. And so I can't get a very accurate reading from the wrist. And so I usually use armband as a nice kind of compromise between the two. It's comfortable to wear year round, and it gives me a reasonably accurate reading. And so like in terms of like it being more or less accurate than the chest band, I don't think it's that different from a consumer grade perspective. I think the main difference is that there is a little bit of time lag in terms of when it reads the heart rate reading, the heart rate monitor being on your chest over your heart, and the armband being a bit further away. It takes a little bit of time for the blood to flow. That's what I've been told. But there is like a little bit of a shift. If you look at the graphs, it shifts over, but the peaks and valleys are all about the same, is what has been my experience. Very limited, but my experience. All right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. Calvin says, did Co say what his plans are for the rest of the summer? More trails or shorter stuff? I just had an email with Sage and Sandy talking about some 5Ks and 10Ks, one 5K and one 10K that I'll be doing later this summer. So it's going to be getting down to some faster. As soon as my legs are kind of able to turn over faster, I'll be working on some fast turnover. And then once that 10K is done, already it's time to start training for Berlin. So summer's going to be short, but hopefully fast. So that's what's coming up. So I had one trail race this year. Maybe I'll do that one in Veterans Acres Park again in the fall. But so far, I don't plan on doing any more trail ultras this summer. Just not on the schedule. I did get invited to do a couple. It sounds really interesting, but I had conflicts with the dates already, and also with training for Berlin. So that's not going to work out. So it's going to be short, fast, and then wrap that right into a marathon training block. So that's what's coming up. Tomorrow, no video, but we'll do another live stream. I have no more packages to unbox again. So we're back at Unbox Zero. Maybe we'll get something in tomorrow. Maybe not. If I don't have a package, let's play a game. We'll play, even though it's Thursday, we'll play a game. Let's try that. All right. So we'll do something fun tomorrow either way. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central. Hopefully, you guys stay safe. So I'll see you guys again. Bye.